Hey guys, what is going on? You are watching Joshua Williams here. So, as you guys can see from the title, we're going to be talking about FouseyTube. Now, before I start the video, I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to my friend Javon. He has this podcast that he's trying to start out called the Real Talk Podcast. His channel is down right here in the description box down below, so you can definitely check that out. Give the channel some love, watch some of their videos. And in fact, the third episode they posted about a few days ago, it was basically him with his friend talking about how he went to actually go to the Hate Dies, Love Arrives event. And so if you guys want to check that out and get his perspective on how things were, then definitely go ahead. I invite you guys, and they'd probably invite you too, to go ahead and check out their video. But I'm not really here to basically talk about the event, if anything, because especially I haven't been to the event. If anything, I'm mostly talking just about the whole ordeal in general with FouseyTube. So as you guys all know, FouseyTube within like 5 days decided he was going to put on this massive concert which was free, inviting all of these hit artists such as like J. Cole and Drake. Drake was the biggest one. That was the main event that was supposed to happen. He also said LeBron James was going to be there. All of these kinds of people he promised was going to be at this concert. And of course, again, this was all planned in the span of 5 days. So honestly, it's surprising that a lot of people didn't know that this was most likely not going to happen, but people still ended up getting tickets for it. I mean, hey, it was a free event. Of course, people were going to get tickets for a free event. No matter whether it's crap or if it's good. If it's free, it's free. Why not? The biggest draw for everybody was that Drake was going to perform there. He was making these tweets, or first of all, he was making a lot of these videos talking about how massive July 15th was going to be, how the world was going to change because of July 15th, how YouTube was going to be talking about it. Every single big name person in the world was going to be talking about July 15th. Or mainly, that was what he was saying about his diss track song, which I'll get to in a second. He was making this a huge deal. It was going to be a massive event. He said it was going to be the next Coachella, but it turned out it was actually the next Tanacon. It was just a massive mess. I mean, first of all, there was I think they only had 3 performers that were able to perform before everything actually happened. Apparently there was a power outage that happened and they had to evacuate everybody, and then apparently there was a bomb threat, and so the entire thing was canceled. And so later on, FouseyTube apparently arrived, and it was interesting that he wasn't actually at the event. I mean, even if you tried having other people basically taking care of the event, at the very least, you, since you're the person who created the event, you would want to be there. So later on, when everybody else was starting to leave, FouseyTube arrived, and he was on top of this, I guess, Uber car, I think. And he was basically kind of just rambling about certain things that happened, talking about manifestation. He was going to release a song at the end. He was going to do this, he was going to do that, and he was constantly talking about how he met Drake, name dropping and all this kind of stuff. And, essentially, if there's one thing I do have to say, FouseyTube was kind of just going after Keemstar. Well, at first, FouseyTube was talking about how he loves Keemstar, I'm not behind Twitter, I love you, son, or something like that. I guess trying to say how he appreciates Keemstar or something like that. That's what it seemed like. But then later on, within that whole situation where he was talking to everybody on top of this car, he essentially basically starts going after Keemstar. And I think that was when he found out that Keemstar was going to make a documentary about all of this. FouseyTube was starting to lash out on Keemstar, talking about how, oh, Keemstar, you were the reason with all this harassment and yada yada yada, why I was going to commit suicide. I was suicidal, I was this and that and yada yada yada. And he was saying other things like, why can't I make a documentary about this? And it was like, well, yeah, why can't you make a documentary? I would at least think, since you were making this event, you would probably want to try to make a documentary. At the very least, when it came to Tanacon, she was going to make like a video or a vlog or a documentary about this, at the very least, because you'd want to show, oh wow, this is going very well. This I did this and yada, yada, yada. It proves to you that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. You know, they probably would have had that message in there. He was saying stuff like, you're heating up your breakfast while I'm heating up my dinner. You are sweating in the hot sun while I'm bundling up in the winter. I was like, can anyone please explain to me what he was trying to say there? There was also another instance where the day after the entire event happened, Adam22, this guy named Adam22, does this no jumper stream basically where he kind of talks to YouTubers or content creators or whatnot and kind of, you know, just talk about certain topics. He's talking with Shane Dawson at first, and then he essentially was starting to talk about FouseyTube, and then FouseyTube out of nowhere kind of came in and kind of took over the stream. Then Keemstar kind of came in, and because apparently they both were listening to it, you know, at the time, and then they were like, you know what, let's just roll up and kind of get onto the stream. So it was kind of interesting how that happened. When Sam Pepper was basically talking with FouseyTube and stuff like that, FouseyTube was so pissed at Sam Pepper, calling him a little bitch, you know, and telling people on his stream to forever call Sam Pepper a little bitch. You are talking about how you want to spread positivity and love, yet here you are screaming in the face of someone else, hating on them, essentially, at least that's what I probably would call it, and then telling other people to spread hate towards him. Was there any point in your mind where you were like, wait a minute, this is not what I'm about, this is not what I was spreading, this is not the message I want to send to people? But then, those two weren't the only instances where he contradicted himself. He decides he was going to release a music video, and that was what he was going to originally play at the event, if the event were to have gone well. But the dude's music video, the song, was a diss track on Rice Gum. Now that was a little confusing because, for all we know, there is no beef between FouseyTube and Rice Gum. At least that's what it seems. But for some reason, he creates this diss track on him. And it wasn't just the fact that it was a diss track on Rice Gum, because I remember when I first heard the song, I was like, why is this a diss track on Rice Gum? What's going on? It was a little confusing to me. But it wasn't just that. It was just, again, the whole event. Again, I'm going to continue bringing this up. His event's called Hate Dies, Love Arrives. Yet on the same day, you release a diss track on Rice Gum. And not only that, the dude has released that 3 times. He released the original music video. He then released a second one that he called a tribute to King LeBron James. And then just recently, like probably a few days ago, he releases a third one where he's basically in a shoe shop. Basically, it's I don't really understand it. Why did you feel that you needed to release that song 3 times? There's a lot of things about FouseyTube in this whole instance that's just been completely insane, and it just shows that he needs help. You know, and that's the thing. A lot of people have been saying that he needs help. Almost everybody that's basically reported this story about FouseyTube and all the situations that's been going around with FouseyTube the past few weeks been saying that he needs help. And I do agree, because like he doesn't seem fully himself, I guess, if that makes any sense. PewDiePie made a video kind of responding to this entire situation that happened. FouseyTube kind of refused to watch the video, especially when he said that the king has no time for the opinions of the sheep. So you're really going to call PewDiePie the sheep? And he has this whole mentality where it's like, don't think like everybody else, be your own free thinker or something like that. And it's like, just because everyone has around the same opinions on you and what has happened doesn't mean that everyone's being a sheep, that everyone is agreeing on all the other opinions said about you just because, oh, it's the popular opinion. That's not the case. You know, it's kind of like clear as day that there's something going on with you and you need help. I mean, the whole thing with the name dropping and the celebrities and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he talked about how he met Drake, when in reality, he never met Drake to begin with. In fact, Keemstar pointed out that the only thing that happened between him and Drake was that Drake just looked at FouseyTube. And that's it. That doesn't mean that you met him. You saw him. I used to be on this dancing show called Mobbed on Fox, where all these people would kind of mob somebody and we'd be dancing whatever. And that was hosted by Howie Mandel. There's been a few times I've seen Howie Mandel and he's passed by me. That doesn't mean I've met him. I've just seen him while we were doing the show. And you know, a part of me feels as though he's been doing these name drops and talking about how, oh, Tyler Perry's his mentor and yada, yada, yada. I think he's doing that to seek some sort of validation, I think. I don't know, because I don't think there would be any other reason to constantly be bragging about, oh, I know these people, I know these big name artists, I know Tyler Perry, I know Drake. Obviously, he would kind of know Tyler Perry because he's worked with him in one of his movies, but that doesn't mean that they're just big snuggle buddies or some crap, you know? And you know, honestly, there's a lot of other things that I could definitely mention about the whole situation with FouseyTube, but honestly, this video has gone a bit too long, and I'm a little bit tired. It's hot in this room. It's hot in California in general right now. We're going through a heat wave, I think. But if anything, that's all I'm gonna say about this situation. I would like to know what your thoughts are about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe for even more content. And hopefully I can come out with a new video very soon, because I am terrible lately. I've been my last video was like a month ago, so I'm really gotta stop doing that, and I gotta start pumping out some more videos for you guys, honestly. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will see you guys later. And remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. Peace out. Thanks for watching.